Can narcissists ever truly change? Loving someone who's narcissistic is heartbreaking. You hold on to hope that they'll finally understand you, only to be disappointed again. In this video, we'll explore what science says about whether change is actually possible, and why the answer isn't as simple as yes or no. The final point may bring you the clarity you've been needing. 1. Change begins only when their story about themselves cracks. Most people imagine narcissists changing because they wake up to the pain they've caused. But science shows that's rarely what sparks transformation. Narcissists operate inside a carefully constructed personal myth, a story where they're always the hero, never the villain. Change doesn't happen until that story stops working. This usually comes from something they didn't see coming: a career collapse, a divorce they didn't initiate, or being publicly called out in a way they can't spin. In psychology, this is called a narcissistic injury, and while it's deeply painful for them, it also opens a crack in their narrative. Think of it like a glass facade shattering. For a brief moment, they're forced to see themselves as others do. That discomfort is the fertile ground where real change can start, but only if they're willing to stay in it instead of rushing back to their old story. 2. They must learn to see emotions as data, not threats. To a narcissist, feelings, both theirs and yours, often feel like enemies. Empathy feels dangerous because it makes them vulnerable. Science has found that one key to change is reframing emotions as information rather than weaknesses. For example, instead of viewing someone's sadness as an attack on their image, "You think I'm a bad person," they're taught to see it as useful feedback about the relationship. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's like teaching someone who only speaks in numbers to finally understand a poem. But once they start viewing emotions as data, it becomes harder for them to dismiss other people's experiences and easier to form genuine connections. 3. Change almost never comes from willpower alone. Here's where movies and self-help books get it wrong. Narcissists don't typically change by simply deciding to be better. Research shows that lasting change almost always involves structured external systems. This might include therapy focused on personality disorders, group settings where peers give real-time feedback, or even specific relationship contracts where accountability is built in. It's like trying to build muscle. You don't get there by thinking about it. You need a gym, a trainer, and a plan. Without external structure, the narcissist's old habits will eventually pull them back like gravity. 4. The motivation often starts selfish, and that's okay. This might sound counterintuitive, but studies reveal that narcissists often begin the process of change for selfish reasons. Maybe they want to win back a partner, rebuild their reputation, or stop feeling the humiliation of constant conflict. At first, it's not about becoming a better person. It's about avoiding pain or regaining status. But here's the twist. Research shows that if they stick with the process, their motivation can gradually shift. What starts as, "I'm doing this so people like me again," can evolve into, "I'm doing this because I actually care about others." It's a messy, uneven journey, but science suggests that the starting point doesn't matter as much as the consistency. 5. True change looks boring from the outside. We love dramatic transformation stories, the tearful apology, the sudden epiphany, but real, lasting change in narcissists usually looks much quieter. Instead of grand gestures, you'll notice small, almost mundane behaviors. They pause before interrupting. They admit, "I don't know," without spiraling. They follow through on a promise without needing praise. These aren't flashy moments you can post on social media. They're slow, steady rewrites of the brain's default settings. If you're close to a narcissist, these subtle shifts can be easy to miss, but over time they add up, like water slowly carving stone. 6. Even with change, some relationships can't be repaired. This is the hardest truth science reveals. A narcissist can genuinely grow and soften over years of work, but that doesn't automatically mean the people they hurt will feel safe again. Healing for others follows its own timeline. Some will never want to re-engage, and that's valid. For the narcissist, true change includes accepting this reality without slipping back into blame or self-pity. It's the ultimate test. Can they respect someone's boundaries even when it dents their ego? Ironically, this willingness to let go is one of the clearest signs that transformation is real.